Computer. All right, hi everybody, wake up, welcome. Yep, one of those words. Welcome to the Basically Hella Fit and Imperfectly Balanced first team call. If you can't tell, I'm nervous. I'm very excited and nervous, but I'm going to be telling my story tonight, and then we're just going to kind of wrap up and, all questions and all that good stuff. So if you haven't met me yet, which I think you all have, my name's Jess. So that's probably not a surprise. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to kind of get rocking and rolling. I tell my story through pictures. So I put up a ton of pictures and some of you probably, I don't think any of you probably know the whole thing. So I want to start with going way back into my life and kind of who I was, and then kind of how it changed over the course of life, because life does that to you. It likes to change you. No one tells you it's going to, but it does. So the first thing I want to talk about is how active I was. So growing up, I was a busybody. Like I was somebody who, I played soccer 7 nights a week because I wanted to. On my off season, which is terrible for you, don't do that. I wish I wouldn't have. My body hurts now because of it. But I was the person who played on the boys' leagues indoors because I wanted the challenge. And I played all the time. If I could play 3 or 4 games a night and indoor, I would. I mean, I played travel soccer. I traveled to 4 different countries to play soccer in high school. In college, I went to college as a college athlete. And that is an interesting story all of its own. That's going to be a different team call because college athletes and I did not get along super great. And I ended up leaving because it wasn't good for my mental health. But outside of that, I became a personal trainer. And, growing up, my family is a super healthy family. We are people who eat vegetables for fun, mainly because we almost lost my dad when I was 14. So he was going through a time period. He's super stubborn like me. So the rest of my story will make sense later. But he's super stubborn like me and didn't go to the doctor. So he was having hallucinations, he was gaining weight, and he was eating 1 cheeseburger a day and gaining weight, and it was crazy, right? He was working out every day and still gaining weight, and then he went to the doctor because he woke up one morning after, I always say after, like there's an O-R in it, like anybody can be a coach, guys. After, the teachers in here are like, oh goodness, your grammar is terrible. But after, he woke up one morning to having to step over the dead bodies in the house to get a drink of water. And so he went and found out his thyroid was dead. And on Thanksgiving Day, the doctor called my mom and said, I have a pharmacist in, go get him medicine and get him put that medicine in him because he's going to die. So, and so he lived a very stressed life. He designs airplane engines for a living, which is a super stressful job. And he shriveled up his thyroid and has no metabolism. So insert time to save dad and let's all eat healthy, right? So then we started eating vegetables for fun, eating tons of chicken. The amount of chicken I've eaten my entire life. So I've just grown up with this healthy, push, right? I got voted in the senior superlatives. Let me just preface with, I was not a popular kid by any means. So I was just, the kid that played soccer. That was who I was. And I got voted in my senior superlatives as most health conscious because I ate salads for lunch when I was 17. Like, who does that? When you can eat the pasta and all the things and all the calories I was burning. And then I went to college and became a personal trainer. I met some of you in college, which is super cool. But I became a personal trainer and I loved my job. I was working 12, 13-hour days, meeting some of the most incredible people I've ever met. So you can see one of my ladies' small groups there. I was probably telling them to stop standing around, but that was fun. And then I lived a life. I worked out all the time. I ran all the time. I enjoyed it. I was busy. I probably got 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night, if that. Shayla's probably laughing because she probably gets less than that. But for me, I'm a 10 hours of sleep kind of girl. And then I decided, right, to do a bodybuilding competition. Right. And I thought, this will be easy. Who thinks that? That's a terrible idea. And I did. I competed in a bodybuilding competition and did really well. And this is when it all changed. My whole life changed after this day. And I'll get emotional about it because if I could go back in time and change anything about my life, it would be nothing but this. I would have said no. I wouldn't have sprayed on that orange colored tanner. I wouldn't have glued my bikini to my butt because it would move if I walked. I wouldn't have done all that stuff knowing what it would do to my body, because apparently I had PCOS my whole life, but I'd always managed it through a healthy lifestyle. And this threw my hormones completely out of whack. And that's stripper heels that I wore as well. So that was fun. This day I can remember waking up. I remember this very vividly, waking up this day, and I was so excited to get your hair done, right? Because that's cool. Get to go get your hair done, put on all the makeup and the fake lashes and get done up like a princess. And I can remember being mad because I woke up on my period and I hadn't had my period in 4 months. And I was bloated. And I can still remember looking at these pictures and seeing the bottom part of my stomach with disgust, right? Which I look at it now and I'm like, what? Right? Why would I ever think that? And I can remember when I, didn't get first place and I got second. And I can remember they give you a score sheet. And this is when it all started with my mind. They give you a score sheet and tell you everything that's wrong with your body and why you didn't place as well as you should have, right? So, and let me just tell you, I hadn't drank water in about 24 hours just to further in, right? Which was super good for your body. So this is the day it all changes, the day I started looking at my body with eyes that weren't real, I guess you would say. Started judging myself. And I started going kind of down a dark hole that this was the image of perfection. And you can't maintain this. You're dehydrated. You probably ate 800 calories the day before. You boil the salt out of your chicken because there's too much salt in frozen chicken. So you boil it. And if you've ever eaten boiled chicken, like, I'm sorry, it's gross. At least I think it's super gross. It has no flavor. You can't use seasonings. You can't use, anything. And that's what I did. So, I could look back at any point in my life before this, I was confident. I'm a very confident person. I was captain of my soccer team. I just knew what I wanted and I chased after it, and I didn't care what other people thought, and I didn't look at my body badly. I can remember walking around the Slippery Rock University campus, which, yes, my college was named Slippery Rock. It is real. It's not a beer college. It's real. So, and I can remember walking around I wore jean skirts and white t-shirts and tennis shoes to the bar and feeling like I was the prettiest person in the room without makeup on. And then this happened, and now I feel like I'm really, really ugly. And I started, my confidence started wavering. And then over the next couple of years, actually, I kept running, I kept working out, I kept eating healthy. And then 3 years after this, I gained 70 pounds in 3 months. And my chest went from an A to a double D in 4 weeks. I was 27 years old. And when I went to my doctor, they told me, you're a late bloomer. And I told them my chest was growing. And I was like, oh, cool, that's fun. I went to another doctor about a year later, and they told me that some girls weren't meant to be skinny. And that I just have to accept, how I was. And then I was lying to them about my symptoms. And so I went to another doctor that told me there's definitely something wrong, but I don't know how to help you. So good luck. And these are the things that I was hearing. And I went to a chiropractor and ate all the supplements. Like, I was swallowing all the supplements. There was probably like 50 pills a day of vitamin D and zinc and, name all the things. And this will fix you. And I was spending $250 a week on supplements to fix me. And I kept gaining. And you can imagine in that time, looking back at my life, how hard that was. I looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize who I was. I felt not confident. I cried a lot. And I started to have a lot of other things happen. And just, I think we all can identify at the time period in our life when we looked at ourselves with less than love. And it's sad. And I never want someone to feel that way. And I can remember my husband, God love him. He should have ran like far away because I was crazy. So he should have ran, and he got down on one knee and said, and my dad told him the same thing. He said, you should have ran. She's nuts right now, which is fine. And, he loved me enough to love me through that dark period. And I kept working out, and I started working out 2 hours a day. I started going back to my bodybuilding diet and I kept gaining. I started having hallucinations. I started doing all the things. So I thought it was my thyroid because, yeah, my dad had a thyroid problem, but I tested my thyroid and it was fine. And I kept getting told that all your blood work looks really good. You're really healthy. And I was like, but I'm not. So finally went to a doctor, got diagnosed with PCOS, which was super cool, right? It was a big relief. But the thing about PCOS is having a diagnosis doesn't fix all your problems. Having a diagnosis for me was a big weight off my shoulder to understand that, yes, it wasn't something I was necessarily doing, but I needed to put the work in the right way that PCOS would let me and when, right? So taking medication that I take is not going to fix me. It's going to help me with my lethargy. Absolutely. I was going through periods of my life where I couldn't stay awake for more than 3 hours without falling asleep standing up. Just so incredibly tired. I felt like my legs were lead. And when that doctor said to me, I will never forget that day when I was establishing with a new primary care, and he said, do you have any health concerns? And I laughed at him, right? Who laughs at their doctor? And I said, you won't believe me anyway. It's totally fine. So I told him, he told me it was PCOS. It was great. And then I decided 4 weeks later to go back to a community that I had previously been a part of. So I was at my lowest point. And let me tell you that 3 years before that, my coach April said, hey, this is super fun. You'll be really good at it. Come join me. And I was like, okay, cool. And did it for a couple weeks and decided I wasn't good at it because my confidence was here and quit. Said, well, it's not for me, right? And I quit. And I think it was 2 months into it. And I didn't lean in. I 100% did not lean into that community. I did what I thought I could do. And looking back, I should have leaned in a little bit harder. But at my lowest of lows, I can remember, because April never gave up on me. She never judged me for it. She always just, told me happy birthday, did all the things. And when I got diagnosis, I said, you know what, this is the community that will fix me. And I know it because I know the programs are great, because I loved 21 Day Fix and I loved Hammer and Chisel and 22-minute hardcore. Those were the 3 ones I had done when I signed up. So I went and I told her, she's like, oh yeah, cool. In the meantime, I was telling a friend of mine who's not on tonight, but Liz, that I was gonna do this crazy thing because it sounds fun and we should do it together. And she said, okay. And so she signed up the same day I did. And I have my first coach. My eyes got about this big, right? What do? I don't know how to coach. And now I have to train her. So what I didn't know is this team is a team of people that trains people together, and we're just all in this together like one big happy family. And that picture of me in the red shirt there is the year I signed up to coach. I couldn't find any on the day I signed up to coach because I didn't take any pictures. When my coach, April, went to go do my welcome, you're a coach now post, she couldn't find any pictures of me on Facebook. She said she went back like 3 years and couldn't find any pictures because I was too ashamed to be in them. And I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I was trying to navigate something new and trying to learn how to be confident. And I jumped into this team. And it was something that I met Shayla. I think I met Shayla in my first week coaching, and we had never met before. And she and I became success partners and just kind of ran together. We are both personally sponsored by the same coach. And it was nice to have somebody in it, at the same time as me that was learning at the same pace as me or pushing me to learn faster. She was learning faster and I was being lazy, any of those things. Somebody to lean on in that time. And you know what? That smile there, the person in red, I was trying really hard to smile. And it makes me really sad because in that picture is the last picture I had with my husband's grandmother before she passed away. And I wish that I could have a brighter smile because she was a wonderful woman. And now I'm not afraid to be goofy with my Energize and spill it all over my office 5 minutes after this picture was taken, because that's what I do. I'm not afraid to go to Summit. I'm not afraid to do these things because I joined into a team, and coaching's done that for me. And coaching got me results that I never thought I would get. But in my first year, I dove in just enough, right? I put 1 foot in and maybe half the other. But I didn't put 2 feet totally in until I got to meet Shayla in person. So I'm blaming Shayla in a good way. And I kind of want to talk about this because I call this my coach birthday, Summit. You'll hear, so I'll talk about Summit a lot. I don't know why I signed up to go. I'm an introvert, kind of. I don't know if extrovert and introvert makes any sense. When I get to know you, I'm super outgoing, but until I know you, I'm super shy. So I don't know if that makes sense. But I can say I walked into that conference really not knowing anybody, because the person I was counting on going was going to have a baby, so she couldn't go anymore. Liz had a baby like 4 days before Summit, and now I'm going to a place where I haven't talked to April since college, so 10 years ago, and I don't know anybody else, and we're getting a room full of girls, and I'm terrified because I'm not at my goal weight, and I'm judging myself, and then I was surrounded with love. I don't think I've ever smiled so hard as I did at Summit in the last 5 years, besides my wedding day, because I, all that good stuff, weddings are super great. I was super happy, but I had the time of my life, and yes, you can learn all the business things at Summit. Yes, I learned a ton about my business. I learned about, how Beachbody runs, and I learned from, all the celebrations that we have, that this is truly a company that wants you to be part of it, and they want you to help people. And this is truly a team that wants you to help people. I mean, heck, Shayla put my makeup on a couple times because I'm just not super great at it. And, I will never forget that we were all there and woke up one morning at 5 a.m. to work out, which if you haven't met me, no, I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I want to be, it's just probably not in the cards. It's safer for the world. So I got up and worked out with everybody. It was super fun. In the middle of the workout, here comes Shayla, who just got in like 2 o'clock in the morning to the hotel, and she's going to come work out with all of us. And I was so excited to meet her because we had conversed back and forth. I got to meet Chelsea and Liz, and really hit it off with them. I roomed with them, and I had never met them or barely talked to them before in my life. So talk about scary. And I learned about myself in that conference, that it's okay to be silly and fun, and it's okay to wear yoga pants when everybody else wants to dress up. It's okay to, be goofy, and it's okay to do what you want to do and the time you want to do it. And it's okay to love people hard, which is cool, right? And I started to feel that idea of a team. And my best friend, she's not a Beachbody coach, but she said this to me one time, because I had told her I have a job that I love. I love my hospital job. It's one of my, it lights my fire like crazy. I have a husband that I love dearly. I have a wonderful family, wonderful in-laws, wonderful friends. Why do I feel like a piece of me is missing? And my best friend said to me, you were always part of a team, and you're not right now. And then Beachbody came, and she said, now you're part of a team, and you look full again. And I think that's pretty cool. Part of a team of people that are all very different. As you get to know all of us, we're all very different from each other. And I put this picture up of me signing, the wall to commit to 100, because Jericho's program was just launching. And this is the first time, I think, for me, I don't know if Shayla actually knew this while she's taking this picture, that it was a real. Like, I had committed to programs before, but like kind of committed, right? I finished Shanti, I did the T20, and I rocked it, had awesome results. And then I took 4 weeks off working out, right? So the idea of 100 days was terrifying, and I signed her shoe because, why not sign her shoe? And I committed, and my journey took off. I left Summit sad. Shayla stayed with me for a night after Summit, and we had a blast working out and working our business together. And I can't wait for you guys all to feel the fire of Summit next year, because it got canceled this year, but next year you'll feel that fire, and it'll be really fun. I can't say enough about it. I signed up like the minute I could to go to this year's. You can see me and Shayla there cheersing our little badges. You get little like nameplates on there that say like I was an Emerald coach, a success starter, and it's kind of fun to celebrate the hard work you put in. So like I said, I took off with that MM100, and what MM100 taught me is to not give up on myself. And so here is my goofiness in a slideshow. You guys will learn I'm a super goofy person. I started posting on Facebook every day, or Instagram every day, Facebook most days when I can remember, and started sharing my life in stories, which made me feel like I wanted to vomit. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes sharing just like hey, I didn't put socks on today and I was lazy. Like, that's hard sometimes just to remember to do that, or even to share when you're struggling or any of those things. And I found it hard, but I started sharing. And what I started finding when I started posting my workouts, because I didn't post them before Summit. I didn't take videos of me before Summit because in my mind, I didn't look like somebody who could inspire somebody. And I was completely wrong. I was 100% wrong, because that person standing there with the phone in her face the day I signed up to coach for real is the person that will inspire somebody, because somebody is going through that same journey as me. And some of you on here are going through that same journey as me. And that's why we are together. And somebody needed to see me fail and see me try and see me succeed and see me never give up despite the bad days. They needed to see me jump around my gym like a crazy person, trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do these like stupid flying moves that I don't even feel like I'm doing right? Because I feel like I'm flailing through the air, and people needed to see that because it made them feel like it was normal, and it was normal to have the reactions that they're seeing. So when I went to Summit, my results changed. Everything changed. I started diving into PD, personal development. And if you're not diving into personal development every single day, then I just want to tell you to do it. I don't really know what else to say. Just do it. I have no words. Things like mastering your mean girl. Hey, Nikki, I'm telling my story. So things like mastering your mean girl. And, you know, and in the end of the day, I had a really terrible mean girl. A mean girl that said, why, you know, are you letting PCOS win? A mean girl that told me that I wasn't good enough to show up. A mean girl that told me that I wasn't good enough to lead people. A mean girl that told me that my story was not inspiring. And a mean girl that told me that I wasn't good enough in the rest of my life. I wasn't a good enough wife. I wasn't a good enough friend. I wasn't a good enough person. And I needed to work harder because I needed to be better. And I am that type of person that wants to be the perfect person, right? I push and push and push and want to do all the things. And what I realized through MM100 was, and it's going to be a different program for all of you. Let me just say, it's going to be a very different program for all of you. It can be T20, it can be 10 rounds, it can be 8-day obsession, it can be any of those things. But what I realized was that I was good enough, and I needed to start seeing myself the way my husband saw me every day. And Beachbody coaching did that for me. It forced me to see the good parts of me. It forced me to buy pink pants. And I was a person who never bought pants that weren't solid black because I wanted to hide my soccer legs. Like, if you know me, I have very strong soccer legs. Like, and I wanted to hide them. I wanted them to be small. I wanted to look like everybody else. It makes me sad to think about that person with that phone in the face and how I felt. And that person now who wakes up and says, I don't really care what things look like. I have to wear orange today for my challenge group. This didn't fit 4 weeks ago, but we're going to put it on anyway. It'll be fun, right? That person wouldn't have done that before. So, you know, you're all going to have that program for you, but I will tell you that I wouldn't have finished my 100 days and had the change in mindset without my coaching community and without trying to inspire others. Because there are days that I show up because I have to post a workout video on Instagram. Let me just tell you, like, there are days, or I have to tell my challenge group I sweated, or I have to tell somebody, hey, I showed up, did you? Or there are days where we eat healthy because I know that I'm having to take results pictures in 4 weeks and they have to look good because I'm a coach, right? And because of that, now all that stuff is a lot easier. All that stuff of being able to eat healthy and choosing healthy foods and getting excited about taking before and after pictures and taking my measurements, and almost can't wait until the program is over because what it does for me is because of coaching and because of all of you. You know, you guys mean the world to me, and I have wonderful friends. I have the best friends. I have the best husband. I have college friends. They're like family. I have a wonderful job, but I wouldn't be as confident as I am today without coaching and without pushing myself, because coaching is pushing yourself. And the number one thing about being a coach is showing up for you first before you show up for anybody else. So that means doing your workouts. That means doing your nutrition. That means taking care of your brain. right? Because we want to take care of this. You know, as much as I really want to say that I have all sunshine and rainbows days, because I know some people tell me that I just smile all the time. There are days I show up in them and it's not sunshine and rainbows. It is raining outside and I'm not enjoying it. So there are days when all I want to do is just sit on the couch and drink a glass of wine because it's been one of those days. But I show up anyway because I know that you all are there and that you're going to be showing up. All of a sudden my Facebook's going to blow up with all these people that are checking in their workouts, and I'm going to be like, okay, fine, I'll get up, right? Or my Instagram, someone's tagging me, have you worked out yet today? So that's kind of what this slide is all about. I just wanted to share it because what I'm seeing in these faces that I didn't see in this face here the day I signed up is joy. And the coaching will bring you all something very different. But for me, it brought me a lot of joy, and it brought me a community that I just can't say enough about. So anyway, if you're a coach and you want to go to Summit, do it, because I'm going to be there. We can all have a room. It'll be super fun. So I know we'll be going to Summit soon. So I just wanted to kind of share briefly my story, you know, as my results changed through all of this. I don't know about you. I know that for me, losing weight is really hard because of my hormones. You know, my hormones like to freak out. It's super fun. You know, we're going to go on a journey of knowing of my husband and I have to make the decision, do we want to have kids or not? Because it's going to be a journey, right? Because PCOS can be difficult with kids. It can be easy or it can be difficult. Who knows, right? We get to go on that journey, but it gives me joy to know and relief to know that I have my community there no matter what happens. It gives me relief to know that you all are there as I kick the air, you know, as my grandma passes away from Alzheimer's, and it happens to be on a day that Fight Club is my workout, and I don't think that was an accident because let me tell you, that air got like beat up that day. So I was so sore from it and all of that good stuff. So that's kind of how, you know, coaching has changed my life. Maybe it sounds silly, maybe all of you have heard this before, but I'd never gotten here without you guys. This is a picture here of me and Shayla at Summit in our super sweet shirts. You guys have seen this, I'm sure. And I was proud to wear that shirt that day, and I was proud of the weight I had lost. And then I put it on a couple weeks ago or last week or whatever it was, and it looks like a dress on me now. And we're gonna have to get new shirts because it's gonna start to be X-rated if it goes down any lower. So we're just gonna have to learn that one. You know, it makes me laugh. You know, me and Liz went out and did a photo shoot because we were both having a bad day, and we had so much fun. And then I shared, and I spelled basically wrong. There needs to be a Y. I'll fix that. It's supposed to say basically Hella Fit. That's Shayla's team. And there's me and Shayla in Indianapolis at our big workout. And if you have never been to Summit, this is one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. We line the streets and do a really, really hard workout with every single trainer in Beachbody. So they all get to run you through like 20 to 30 minutes of a workout. And I thought I was going to die when Shanti said, and we're going to jump. And I was like, oh, you're funny. And that's us saying, you know, I remember standing there and Shayla goes, we need people to be here with us next year because they need to experience what we're experiencing. Like, this is so much fun. And it changed us both very much. That was us telling you should be there. That's us pointing at you. You're not there yet, but you will be. So anyway, I'm going to stop sharing my photo story and, you know, get my nerves out because I was super nervous through all of that. You know, it's, some of you have known me from when I was younger and how, so I was a confident person. I didn't really care what the world thought. I was going to be soccer captain. That's all that mattered in my world. And I had to get good grades so I could go to practice. Like, that was who I was. I was out running because it would make me better at soccer. And then PCOS, you know, and then I became a bodybuilder and I did all the things, and PCOS happened and slowed me down. And somebody said, you know, hey, join me in this group and we will succeed and we'll rock. So I am forever grateful that somebody didn't give up on me when I was at my lowest lows, because I don't know what I would have done to get through my struggles. And we all have our own struggles. Mine is a lot of PCOS, but everybody else has their own struggles, you know, in here. And, you know, that's just basically, this community got me through things that I didn't think I could get through myself, and now I can. So cool. Awkward ending, because that's what I'm super good at. But do you guys have any questions about my story or anything, or anything you want to share in regards to your story, I guess is the right words?
So what would you say is like your goal that you're working towards right now?
Well, I want to be a 2-star diamond team, which if you're not a working coach yet, you'll know what that is soon, which is a big goal. But mainly my biggest goal in life is I want people who have struggles like me to know that it's okay to struggle. And it's okay that me losing a half a pound is going to take a lot of work. And that's okay. And I want people to know they're worth showing up for themselves. Yes, I want to see, a certain number on the scale. We all do, right? But I'm okay if I don't get there. But I want to build a team of people, a team of different people, everybody who has their own walk of life, but people that can encourage others to be 100% who they are, and show up for themselves, whatever that looks like as a coach, I'm really passionate about that. That's a good question, Jayla.
Thank you for sharing, Jen.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'm going to stop recording.